Hey there, this is Fuski coming to you from New York. I'm currently at Chinatown, the original Chinatown in Manhattan. And I'm here, of course, for Chinese food. But today is gonna be a special one. It's not just any Chinese restaurant you'll find anywhere. This is something that you will probably only find in New York. This restaurant is called Bodhi Kosher Vegetarian Restaurant. As the name suggests, it serves kosher certified Chinese food that's also vegetarian. And it's a very popular one. It's full of people. We're still waiting for our table. And let's go check it out and see what that is about. All right, so now I am seated at this Bodhi Kosher Vegetarian Restaurant. So first of all, you can see it is very popular. The room is literally full that we have to wait to get a table. As you can see, it's people everywhere. This is the smallest table I have had in a Chinese restaurant and the fullest restaurant I have had. Like I have never had a Chinese restaurant that's full of people literally. And secondly, this is a kosher certified restaurant. So what is kosher? Well, basically, it is the food for Jewish people, you can think of it. So on the menu and also in front of the sign, you can see actually there are Hebrews right next to the Chinese character. So kosher, again, I'm not an expert in Jewish or anything, but my understanding is that kosher is sort of a halal for Jewish people, for Judaism. So halal is basically a set of rules dictating the food, the premises, and the process for making these food. So for example, there's no pork, but there's more than that. So for example, in halal, if you were to slaughter an animal, you have to slaughter it when it's alive, and you have to pray, and I think it has to face Mecca or something. But anyways, it's a set of guidelines to dictate how you process and eat this food. And you have sort of like equivalent for Jewish people, and that's called kosher. I know my Chinese friend, also as a Chinese myself, I don't know a lot about kosher. That's kind of an alien concept. A lot of my Chinese friends, if not all, had absolutely no idea about what kosher is about, but that's pretty much the way I can put it. It's like sort of a halal for Jewish, which also kind of makes sense because if you go back in history, Islam kind of stemmed from Judaism because Muhammad read the book. I'm not going to get into it because this is like, religion, but that's the idea. This is a kosher certified restaurant for Jewish people as well, so for Chinese people, but also for Jewish people, and also it's for vegetarian, vegan people. Very interesting. And secondly is that there is actually a kosher certified, like a certification in the front door in Hebrew. And also the diner here were actually mostly non-Asian. Like I think I only see like a couple tables, maybe 2 or 3. As you can see, this caters to a lot of people. And that's maybe one of the reasons it's so popular. The menu is quite interesting. It has appetizer, main courses, carbs, noodles, rice, and dim sum, and all of them are vegetarian. But they're not just like vegetarian. Some of them were that looks like meat and it has a name with the meat item in it, but it's vegetarian, so it's sort of like a fall meat. There's also a concept in China, we call that su fan. So you basically use vegetarian ingredient to make a meat dish that makes it look and taste like a meat dish. And this is partly what this restaurant for is as well. So menu is quite interesting, order a bunch of items. I have high anticipation for this. It's a truly unique, one-of-a-kind restaurant here. Another thing about the Jewish and Chinese community is that the Chinese community and the Jewish community has been living in New York side by side for over 100 years, along with some Italian community. So this is Chinatown, but right next to it, there's a little Italian. So you have Italian, Irish, Albanian, and here is Chinese. And you also have Jewish people. This part of New York, this part of Manhattan is once the biggest, I think still is the biggest Jewish neighborhood in the entire US. So they've been living side by side for over 100 years. They kind of adapt and all. And also there's one tradition is that Jewish people in US eat Chinese food for Christmas. Well, one reason being that Chinese restaurant is the only restaurant that's kind of open during Christmas. And secondly, because of the cultural exchange and all that. And plus this is kosher. So let's get into it. 哦，好，谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。这个是什么菜？这是酸菜鹅肠哈。哦，好的，好的。Alright, so now we have our dim sum order. These are small plates. This is char siu or cha shao roasted pork, but obviously this is not pork because it's neither vegetarian nor kosher. Oh, okay, let me try this. Vegan cha shao. Well, this is definitely char siu in flavor, right? Like the marinade, the sauce tastes exactly like that, but this is not pork. This is, I believe it's bean curd. Yeah, this is bean curd. I think in Chinese it's called 豆筋. It's like a more dried up condensed tofu, but with the flavor of char siu. And the texture is actually quite similar because in Chinese cuisine, usually use bean curd to make imitation meat dishes. Oh, that's quite good. Next up, we have this xiajiao shrimp dumpling. Well, obviously not shrimp, but looks very much like one. The skin is sort of translucent, just like a real thing. It kind of does taste like the thing. I'm not quite sure exactly what is it. The flavor is pretty much like a shrimp too. I think this is made with mo yu, or I think it's konjac in English. So it gives that similar texture. That flavor is just like a shrimp. All right, so the next one we have is jellyfish, 海蜇皮. Well, jellyfish is also an interesting ingredient. This is the vegetarian version. You probably haven't eaten the real thing, or maybe you have, but the real thing tastes like a gelatinous, jelly, crispy thing. Well, but let me try this one. Oh, look at this. It does look like the real thing though. That's almost like the real thing. That it's just not as crispy, not as snappy, but it's almost there. Oh man, that is interesting. Some soy sauce. I mean, I don't know if this is for it, but you could pair some soy sauce with it. This one has a slight vinegar in it, so it's not gonna be plain. Just like the thing. And also there's pickled vegetable beneath it. I think this is also made with konjac powder of sorts, or maybe sago palm tree root or something. I don't know, but all I know is it tastes really close to the real thing. Quite refreshing. All right, so the next thing we have is 酸菜鹅肠, sour cabbage goose intestine. Yeah, you heard that right. I don't even come across this dish that often in like legit known vegetarian Chinese restaurant. So this is the imitation goose intestine. Oh, no, it's crispy. Almost tastes like a wonton chip. With the vegetable pyramid, crispy and snappy. It's a little different from the real goose intestine, but the texture is a bit similar, I think. Not exactly like sour cabbage, like the 酸菜 that you had in the sour cabbage dish, not like that. But rather more of a sweet sour, almost like general tall chicken sort of base, but very not sweet. It's just like slightly sour, slightly sweet, crispy wonton chip. And with a bit of flavor from the douji, the fermented pumpkin flavor from here. This might be fried wonton chip, or it might be fried bean curd skin. Similar texture, crispy. Anyway, it's quite tasty. Lastly, main course, we have this beautiful dish. This is gan shao yu, so dry roasted fish. It's a very famous Chinese dish, but this is obviously not fish. But it looks like one, and looks quite beautiful. Okay, it's quite sizable right here. All right, so it looks like I need some effort to get this out. All right, like that. It does peel off like a fish. I mean, it does very much look like a fish piece. Look at that. Oh, that is cool. All right, let's see what this is about. Oh my God, this is so good. It very much tastes like a fish. Like the outside, the crust is very crispy, just like a crispy fish skin. And even the flavor is on spot, but it's not fish. It's maybe again like a soy product. Maybe the texture is kind of flaky, just like the fish will be. I mean, of course, it's not gonna be like particularly juicy like a fish because it's not fish. But well, again, I think this is 豆筋 or 豆皮, like a bean curd or like the bean curd skin compressed and folded. That it creates that texture that's very similar because again, in Chinese cuisine, soy product is using a lot of this meat imitation dishes. Very much like that. But outside is this crispy crust that I don't know how they made it, but it's like almost like a real fish. I mean, if you give this to a kid, he might not even recognize that's not real fish. Definitely some kind of soy product. This is amazing. You try some of this, maybe meat slices. I mean, imitation meat slices, but I'm not sure what that is made of. That texture is just like real meat. Again, I wonder. I mean, this got to be some kind of soy product again. Yeah, similar to this one. So, soy product, bean curd or maybe steam, compressed, folded, fried, steamed, all kind of procedure that really makes it taste like meat. This is awesome. Well, lastly, just the sauce. So I haven't talked about the flavor of the fish itself. This is a famous Chinese dish again. So it has give a taste of the sauce. Slightly savory, slightly sweet. It also has a bit of the fermented bean flavor in here. But it almost tastes like the sound of the egg drop soup in some Chinese restaurant. Like Furongtang, you have the egg drop soup, condensing flavor, good amount of soy sauce, umami there. Tastes like that. That's how I can put it. Well, but overall, this is a great dish. All right, so I just had my full meal here at this Baldi kosher vegetarian Chinese restaurant. The food is absolutely amazing. I am so full. I am so satisfied. It is a very interesting restaurant. In this restaurant, most of the diners here are not Chinese because this one does cater to a lot of population. It caters to Chinese, Jewish people of Judaism practice, Muslim as well, vegetarian, and also on top of that, it's really tasty. And yeah, I mean, this is just a really cool restaurant, Chinese, kosher, vegetarian. You don't really see this anyways. This is Fusky. I make videos about food and travel, in particular food of the NYC. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.